Hello everybody, welcome back to another video and a different angle today. It's currently raining, so the natural light's being a little weird, so I had to angle it slightly this way so that half of my face wasn't in complete darkness. It also doesn't help that I'm super pale. As you might have noticed, we have this lovely pothos hanging in the background, and I also have an egg clock, which hasn't worked for like 2 months because I keep forgetting to change the batteries. Anyways, today I'm going to show you how to start a vegetable garden. This is a great activity if you're looking to try something new, and it's also super awesome if you have kids because it gives them the chance to be hands-on and learn about growing plants. I started germinating a bunch of stuff a couple weeks ago, but thankfully I got a bunch of new seeds from my neighbor, so I'm very excited to get started on them. Today I'm going to be planting Swiss chard, dill, pole beans, and rat tail radishes. If you haven't started germinating your seeds yet, now is the time to do so. Most vegetables require about 30 days to become strong enough before you plant them outside in your garden. In Ontario, the last frost typically occurs anywhere from May 10th to May 20th, and in past years we've definitely seen it occur more towards the end of the month, so most people haven't started planting things until after the May 2-4 weekend, but thankfully since it's been a more mild winter, we might be able to start planting things outside sooner. The general rule of thumb is that it needs to be a consistent 7 degrees Celsius or warmer overnight for at least 2 weeks to be considered safe to plant outside. If this is your first time planting and you're a little anxious about it, you can even wait until it's 10 degrees at night. Alright, let's get started. Here are the things you're gonna need. Potting mix, a cardboard egg carton, seeds, a watering can or a spray bottle, and a friendly companion or two is optional. The first thing you'll want to do is take a look at the planting instructions on the back of your seed packs. It tells you how deep you need to plant your seeds as well as a bunch of other useful information. If you're doing container gardening, you don't need to worry about the row spacing section of the instructions. Next, it's time to prep your growing containers. I like to use cardboard egg cartons because once your seedling is ready to be transplanted, you can actually put the entire thing in the soil and it'll eventually break down into compost. If kept moist, the seedlings will have no problem being able to grow their roots directly through the cardboard, plus the paper helps your roots stay moist until it breaks down. Some people prefer to cut their cartons into individual cups before they plant their seedlings, but I don't really have a preference either way. I'll probably regret it when it comes time to actually transplanting them into the containers. That's a problem for later me. If you don't have any egg cartons, say maybe you don't eat eggs or you just forgot to grab some at the store, no worries. There are a ton of other great starter kits available. Next, let's talk about soil. I like to use a potting mix because it's a nice loose soil. You might notice that your potting mix has these little white chunks in it. A lot of people think it's styrofoam, but it's actually something called perlite. Perlite is volcanic glass that gets heated up and it turns into these little popcorn looking things. It helps keep air in your soil to prevent it from becoming too compact or too watery. I have a few new bags of potting mix, but I'm going to be using up an old bag I had from last year. The only problem is, as you can see, it's quite dry. So if your soil is dry, just add a little bit of water until it becomes this nice, clumpy, yet still light substance. Once your soil is good to go, fill up your egg cartons halfway. Now it's time to add your seeds. Make a little hole based on the depth required for your seeds. I personally prefer to plant 1 seed in each cup because if you put too many in there, they'll start to crowd each other and could possibly stunt each other's growth, and we don't want that. We are all about big, flourishing plants here. I also figured since the planting instructions said the seeds needed to be X amount of centimeters apart, this will ensure that they have enough space to grow. My biggest tip when it comes to planting seeds is to plant more than you think you'll need. There's a chance that some of the seeds might be duds or say along the way you forget to water them, so it's always good to have a couple extra in case some of them don't make it. If you have older seeds and you're worried that they might have trouble germinating in the soil, here's what you can do. Dampen a piece of cloth or a paper towel and wrap the seeds inside. Then place it into a container or something that's going to keep the moisture in. Check in every couple days, add more water if you need to, and once you see that your seeds have little roots, you can move them into the soil. Once all your seeds are in, cover it up with more soil. Then give them a quick spray of water. You'll want to make sure the soil stays moist, especially for the first few days. Since the seedlings are so young, they're quite susceptible to lack of water, so I like to spray mine twice a day. If I notice the soil is drying out a little quicker, I'll just use my watering can to give them a good soak. But just as sensitive as they are to lack of water, they're also quite sensitive to overwatering. It's all about finding the right balance. I know they're finicky little things. Oh, and I forgot to mention that you might want to put a tray underneath your egg cartons so that water doesn't leak everywhere. And finally, you just need to find a nice sunny spot for your seedlings to grow. I'm keeping mine in our bedroom on our dresser because I'm kind of running out of space in our living room, and our bedroom has these nice big windows that get a lot of sunlight. Once the weather is good and your seedlings have established themselves, you can plant them outside. If you're putting them into containers, make sure that your container has drainage holes and that you're using a nice light container soil. If you're planting them in the ground, make sure the soil is a nice, rich, loamy soil. Bonus points if you got earthworms and other microbes in there too. And there you have it, everything you need to know about starting a vegetable garden. Did I go into too much detail? Maybe. But I just wanted to be as helpful as I could. Some of you have reached out to me and told me that you're complete beginners, so this one's for you. So what type of things are you guys planting this year? Feel free to let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe, I'll see you later. Bye!